Hi guys, this is Robert Baranda from the Healthy and Fit Lifestyle. This is my maiden episode. This is our very first episode. And again, my name is Robert Baranda, and I've been with the fitness industry for 30 years. And in those 30 years, I've gained a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge in the fitness industry. And that's what I want to share with you guys. I want to share everything that I've learned and what works, what really works. And the best way to do that is for you to understand how things work, because you get a lot of tips, but you really don't know how it works. Maybe it works for some people, and it works for others. But what you want to do is understand how everything works and how things are going to work for you. Okay. And the usual question that I get as a trainer is, how do I speed up my metabolism, and how does it work? How does it work? You know, people, a lot of you guys are clicking into this episode because you want to know more about your metabolism. How do I deal with my metabolism? Why do I have this metabolism? And why does my friend has a faster metabolism, right? I'm sure a lot of you know someone who has a metabolism that you really envy. The metabolism is so fast. They can eat anything. They can eat rice. They can eat sweets. They can drink their alcohol. They can drink a lot of soda, a lot of sugar, and they do not gain an ounce of fat. And that's what we're going to discuss today. How do we become that? And why are they that in the first place? Okay. First, the first thing that you're going to hear when you talk about metabolism and what you want, if you want to increase your metabolism, is you always hear that the more muscles you have, the more fat you can burn. That's metabolism. But the friend that you know who eats anything and everything and doesn't gain a single ounce of fat doesn't have a lot of muscle. They don't have any secret training. They're just sitting around. And also another argument you're going to hear from that is the more muscles you have, the more fat you can burn, is the argument of the strong men, or the power lifters and the bodybuilders, or not the bodybuilders, the power lifters and the weightlifters. They're not exactly lean, especially the strong men, like big men like Zydrunas Zavikas. I met him in person. He has a ton of muscle, but he's carrying a lot of extra weight. Yes. There is also Brian Shaw, who's also a ton of muscle, very strong, but he also carries a lot of weight. So that doesn't satisfy the argument that the more muscles you have, the more fat you can burn because of these guys. And then again, you have your friend who doesn't lift a lot of weights, but they burn a lot of fat. Why is that so? What gives? Okay. People say it's the hormone leptin. Okay, it transmits to your brain. It tells you when to burn fat. But then again, you argue, how come if you eat, your leptin goes up, so you burn more fat? But again, the strong men, they eat a lot, but they're carrying a lot of weight. If you don't eat a lot, well, they say your leptin's going to drop and you're not. But then again, that has a big part of losing weight. But the really big part is we're going back to the muscle mass. The more muscles you have, the more fat you can burn. You also have to understand that a lot of girls are turned off with this notion. They don't like the idea of building muscles. Now, what you want is to build a specific kind of muscle. Is there such a thing? Yes, there's a specific kind of muscle that you can build. There's a small part of your muscle. If this is your muscle, you have a lot of parts here. Some parts of it are strong, and that's what the strong men have. It's called your myofibril. Big name, big word. Myofibril. That's what the big strong men have. That's what you develop when you start working out. You work out, you use about 10 to 12 repetitions, you get beefy, you get bulky, and after 3 to 4 months you stop gaining weight. Because you've maximized your myofibril. That's the strong part. Usually The guys around you will tell you to start eating more. And when you start eating more, what happens? What happens is you gain the weight, you get fat. Why is that? Because the problem is myofibril cannot burn fat. It cannot. It cannot burn the fat. That's the problem with myofibril. It cannot burn fat. What it does is it's only strong. And if you eat a lot, eat too much, of course you get a lot of muscle mass, but you get fat. You carry extra weight. So what's the solution? You need to develop the specific kind of, a specific part of muscle, not kind of muscle, a specific part of muscle that burns fat. Ladies, please, this is what you've been waiting for. This is the answer that you want. You need to develop a small part of your muscle. It's a very popular part of your muscle cell. Everybody knows about it. If you remember your biology class, it's called the mitochondria. Mitochondria, the powerhouse of the muscle cell. That is where you burn all your fat. That's where you burn the fat, you burn your carbohydrates. That's why it's called a powerhouse of the cell. That's where all your cellular metabolism occurs. That's where it all happens. That's the oven of the body. If you have a big oven, you can burn more. If you have a small oven, then you can't, you can burn a few, but not a lot. If you want to burn a lot, then you need a big mitochondria. And that's the difference between your friends and yourself. Your friends with the fast metabolism, who eats anything and everything and doesn't gain an ounce of fat, that's the difference between them and you. You couple of bites and you gain a lot of weight. Why is that? Because your metabolism or your mitochondria is not as big as your friends. Now the idea is for your mitochondria to be as big as your friends. Can I do that? If you don't have that mitochondria, can you do that? Well, the answer is yes. You can increase the size of your mitochondria. Well, of course, I'm doing this, but you have to understand that the mitochondria is only 10% of your muscle cell. 10%. Not very big. So even if you maximize that mitochondria, it's not going to bulk you up. It's not going to bulk you up. Unlike the myofibril, which is almost 35% of your muscle mass. That's why you get bulky. What you need is to develop the mitochondria. That mitochondria is that part of the muscle that burns fat. Now, how do I develop that? Now, you develop that by specifically training your muscles, because our mitochondria is in our muscles. Wherever we have muscles, we have mitochondria. Of course, got millions and millions of muscle cells in our muscles. And each muscle cell has a mitochondria. The more muscle cells you have, the more mitochondria you have. Your idea is to stimulate that by exercising it between 15 to 25 repetitions. Either that or you do your metabolic conditioning or circuit training. Those are the two solutions. If you're going to lift weights, make sure that you're going to exercise or train your muscles between 15 to 25 repetitions. But it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to boost your metabolism overnight. The first time, it has to be regular exercise. The first time you start exercising, you'd notice that you get inflamed, bloated. That's normal. That's part because your body got shocked. Oh my God, what is he doing? Okay? So what you're going to do is train your muscles in such a way that you specifically target that mitochondria between 15 to 25, or you do your metabolic conditioning, meaning your circuit training. You train your muscles in such a way that you are targeting specifically the mitochondria. Now, if you're going to exercise, and most of you, for beginners, I wouldn't recommend the circuit training yet, or the metabolic conditioning, because it's a little too hard for most of us. We can do the straight sets. So what straight sets? Meaning straight sets, you do one set of 15 to 25 reps of an exercise, and then you rest, and then you do another set of 15 to 25 reps of that exercise. Now, what exercise should I do? First, if you only have like 3 exercises in your mind, I can only do 3 exercises as a starter, as a beginner. What exercise? You have to choose the large muscle group first. You have to choose the hips and the thighs. That's the largest. That's why you notice people always prescribe running, walking, or dance, or anything that uses the hips and the thighs. Because if you use your hips and the thighs, you're targeting the large muscle groups. The more muscles you have, the more muscles you're going to use, the more mitochondria will be activated. Now, if you target that, if you develop, increase the size of the mitochondria of these muscles, then your metabolism is going to go up. This is the secret of bodybuilders. That's why bodybuilders always get into that cutting mode. They're now in cutting mode by doing high reps. They're not doing high reps because high reps burns fat. No. High reps, meaning 15 to 25 reps, develops or increases the size of their mitochondria. So when they stop working out and the size of their mitochondria increases, their metabolism is up. They're burning a lot of fat. That's how bodybuilders do it. You notice some bodybuilders, they don't even do a lot of cardio. Well, they do cardio, but a lot of them would do cardio for about 5-15 minutes. But to get into that shape, you'd notice that they do a lot of weights, a lot of repetition, because that increases your mitochondria. Now, first thing you can do, if you're just at home, now you're stuck at home or you don't have the equipment to do it, you can do air squats. You can do air squats or plain squats. You don't have to carry anything. Just sit down and get up. Sit down and get up, but you have to do it properly. Make sure your back is straight. Make sure your knees doesn't move forward beyond your toes. Okay, so your back is straight. Okay, you squat like you would sit on a chair, except there's no chair. Okay, you sit on a chair, you can get up. If there's no chair, okay, just make sure that you go down and activate the muscles of your hips and thighs, targeting your mitochondria. Do that for 3 sets of 20 to 25 reps, maybe 15 if you can't do 20, 15. Do that for 3 days, every other day, alternating, giving your mitochondria enough time to recover and gain the size that you want. Now, once you get it, your metabolism will go up. This is an experience I had when I was guesting in a radio show, and I had a phone caller. He was calling in. He was a taxi driver, and his question is, ever since I started driving my taxi, I've been eating the same food, because we know how taxi drivers are. They eat the same food every day. The same food, same schedule, same amount, same, very ritualized. But after 4 years of driving and eating the same stuff, he gained 20 pounds. What gives? What happened? Now, what happened is he's been sitting on his car, on his taxi for 4 years, no activity. And you know the saying, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. That's what happened to his mitochondria. His mitochondria got smaller and smaller, and his metabolism went down and down and down until he started gaining weight. And that's what happens to most of us. To most of us. If you're very inactive, your mitochondria, a lot of us would argue, no, I've always been thin my whole life. But we have to remember, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. If you don't exercise, what you are enjoying right now, the metabolism that you're enjoying right now, it's going to leave you. It's going to go. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Your metabolism will go. That's the same thing that happened to that taxi driver. That's what I explained to him. You've been very inactive in your driving your taxi, that your metabolism went down because your mitochondria got smaller. So the solution is for him to do squats. Do squats. 3 sets of squats 3 times a week. because he doesn't have a lot of time to do cardio, to run. I mean, and what he eats is what he eats. What he needs is a boost in his metabolism. And how do you boost your metabolism? Increase the size of your mitochondria. Simple as that. If you know what mitochondria is, it's easy. How do I develop mitochondria? Stimulating the muscles, the big muscles, increasing the size of your mitochondria. And from there, you can formulate a lot of exercise program just from that information. Okay, so I need to do heavy. I need to stimulate my mitochondria to increase my metabolism. That's simple. It's that simple. Sometimes the solution is that simple. Because people are asking, why am I doing high reps? This is too hard. There's a reason why you're doing it. Okay? There's a reason why you're doing it. There's a reason why you're doing 10 to 12 repetition. There's a reason why you're doing 15 to 25 repetition. And that's to increase the size of your mitochondria, increasing your metabolism. So when you think of a program, high reps, if that's what you want. Okay? Like I said earlier, my channel, this channel, aims to make sure that you understand how the body works and how you can design your own program and tailor fit it to how you want your body to turn out to be. Again, this is Robert Baranda, and this is the end of my vlog. And if you have any more questions about the body, of course, I'm going to throw in a lot of information here. The most common issues that I get in the fitness industry, I'm just going to throw in a lot of them. And if you have any further questions, especially about this blog, please like, comment, subscribe. I want the comments as well. I want to hear what you want to know about fitness. I want to know what you want to know. I want to know what's in your hand. What do you think about this blog? Or any more questions, please ask me. Again, this is Robert Baranda. If you stayed this long, thank you very much. If you hit the subscribe button, wherever it is, thank you. And I hope you like it. And bye.